You know that feeling? The one after a conversation where everything that was said was technically fine, technically normal, technically nothing you could point to as a problem, and yet you walked away carrying something you couldn't name. A residue of the interaction that sat with you longer than it should have, turning itself over in the quiet hours, asking questions the conversation itself never directly raised. The way someone paused before answering. The enthusiasm that felt slightly performed. The moment of warmth that arrived and then withdrew before you could fully receive it, leaving you to wonder whether you imagined the warmth or whether the withdrawal was the real information. There is something in this connection, in this person, in this situation, that has more beneath it than what has been shown. You can feel the depth of it even when the surface keeps presenting itself as unremarkable. The interactions that leave you with more questions than they answer. The sense that something is being held just slightly back, not necessarily with intent, not necessarily in a way that implies anything dark or deliberate, but with the specific quality of something not yet fully arrived at the surface. You are reading a book and you are fairly certain there are pages missing. Not because anyone told you, because the story you've been given does not account for all of the feeling you've been having in response to it. You are not imagining this. What you sense beneath the surface is real. And in 2 days, the specific energetic alignment that moves what has been operating below consciousness into full visible clarity is arriving. What you have been trying to read through the static is about to become legible. And I want to make sure you understand what is coming and how to receive it clearly, because what is revealed in the next 2 days is going to require the quality of awareness that knows what it is looking at. Venus is approaching the karmic nodes. In 2 days, the planet that governs love, attraction, and the connections we form will touch the axis of karma and destiny. The specific points in the sky where what has been hidden surfaces, where what has been operating in the invisible dimensions of a situation becomes undeniable in its visible form. The lunar nodes are not planets. They are points, the 2 places where the path of the moon intersects the path of the sun, creating an axis that astrology has always understood as the axis of karma and fate. The south node is the direction of what has accumulated, what has been carried, what is completing, what belongs to the past of a situation or a soul. The north node is the direction of what is emerging, what is becoming, what the future is pulling toward, what is genuinely new rather than a repetition of what came before. When Venus, the force of love and attraction and human connection, touches this axis, something very specific happens. The invisible dimensions of relationships become visible. What has been operating beneath the surface of a connection, what has been felt but not seen, what has been known in the body before the mind had words for it, all of that moves into the light. Intentions that were unclear become clear. Feelings that were hidden by the other person, by the situation, sometimes by the viewer themselves, become undeniable in a way that cannot be dismissed as interpretation or projection. Connections that were ambiguous reveal their actual nature. And what comes to light is not manufactured by the transit. It was always there. Venus touching the karmic nodes does not create revelations. It surfaces them. It brings to full visibility what has been present all along, operating just beneath the level at which you could see it clearly. What you have been sensing in this connection, the more beneath the surface quality, the story with missing pages feeling, the residue of conversations that leave you with questions the conversations themselves never answered, that more is real. And in 2 days, it becomes visible. The universe does not surface hidden truths randomly. This is one of the most important things to understand about what is approaching in 2 days. The revelation is not accidental, and it is not arbitrary. The timing is specific. The precision of Venus approaching the karmic nodes at this particular moment, in the wake of the extraordinary cosmic movements of the last several weeks, inside the beginning of the Uranus in Gemini era that has just opened the channels of communication and connection in the most radical way they have been opened in 80 years, is not coincidental. What comes to light in the next 2 days is exactly what you needed to see in order to make the right decisions about who and what belongs in the next chapter of your life. Not what would be comfortable to see, Not what would confirm the story you have been preferring. What is necessary? What the next chapter of your life specifically requires you to have seen clearly in order to move in the direction that is genuinely right for you. Think about what you have been trying to read in this connection. The questions that have been circling without resolution. The sense of something important being obscured, not necessarily by deception, though sometimes by that, but by the specific conditions that were in place before this cosmic moment arrived. Conditions under which the real depth of a feeling could not quite surface. Under which the actual truth of someone's intentions could not quite arrive at its visible form. Under which the connection could only show you a portion of what it actually contained, leaving you to sense the rest without being able to confirm it. Those conditions are changing. The energetic alignment of Venus approaching the karmic nodes creates exactly the opposite conditions. The conditions under which what was beneath the surface rises, under which the concealed becomes unconcealed, under which the story with missing pages has them returned. What has been there all along is about to become visible to you, and the quality of your reception of it, whether you recognize it for what it is when it arrives, depends on whether you understand what is happening and why. There are two directions this revelation moves in, and both of them are true for different people watching this, and both of them are gifts, though one arrives in a more obviously welcoming form, and the other requires more trust in the universe's love to receive as the gift it is. For some of you, what surfaces in the next 2 days confirms something beautiful, a connection that is deeper and more real than the carefully managed surface of it has been able to show you, a feeling that is reciprocated, genuinely, specifically, in the way you have been sensing it might be, but could not confirm. A situation that is moving in the right direction, that has more substance and more future to it than the uncertainty of the last period has been allowing you to feel clearly. The truth that comes to light for you is the answer to the question you have been carrying, and the answer is yes. The connection is real. The feeling is mutual. The more you sense beneath the surface is the genuine depth of something that was always there. For others, what surfaces is different, and it is still, in the truest sense of the word, a gift. What comes to light for you is clarity about something that was not what it seemed. Not necessarily deception in the deliberate sense. Sometimes the truth that surfaces is simply the truth of incompatibility, of someone who could not give what you were sensing they might give, of a dynamic that was presenting as something with a future while actually being something with an ending. The clarity, though uncomfortable, is the most loving thing the universe could offer you at this moment. Because the alternative, continuing to invest in and wait for something that was not what you sensed it was, is far more costly than the temporary discomfort of the truth. Both revelations serve the same purpose. They clear the ground. The confirmation of something real clears the ground for the deepening of it, for the moving toward of it with the full weight of your genuine engagement, rather than the held-back quality of someone who is still uncertain. The clarity about something that was not what it seemed clears the ground for the arrival of what is actually aligned. The North Node connection, the one that the universe has been preparing while you were invested in the one that is now completing. Both are acts of love. Both are what the next chapter of your relational life needs in order to begin from honest, clear ground rather than from the ambiguity that has been consuming your energy and attention. The 2-day window matters more than it might seem at first, and the reason it matters is specific to the quality of reception available during Venus's exact approach to the karmic nodes versus the quality available after it has passed. When Venus is within the orb of the nodal axis, in the approaching days, in the exact contact, in the separating days, the revelations that surface do so with unusual clarity and unusual accessibility. They arrive in forms that are readable if you are paying the right kind of attention. A conversation that goes somewhere it has never gone before and says something that has been unsaid. A behavior that reveals something about the other person's actual feelings that their carefully managed presentation has not previously shown. A moment of your own clarity, internal, arriving without external trigger, in which you suddenly know something about the situation that you have been circling without quite landing on. These moments of revelation have a specific quality during the Venus node contact. They are not ambiguous. They are not the kind of thing that leaves you with more questions. They are the kind that lands with the specific weight of a thing finally becoming clear. Undeniable. The kind where you know, and you know that you know, and the uncertainty that has been consuming your energy falls away because it is no longer needed. The person who is aware of what Venus approaching the karmic nodes activates recognizes these moments for what they are when they arrive. They receive them as the cosmic revelations they are, as the universe showing them what they needed to see, in the specific 2-day window in which the showing is most direct and most clear. They do not dismiss the clarity as coincidence or overthinking. They do not manage the revelation back into the comfortable ambiguity of not quite knowing. They receive it clearly and make the decisions that clarity makes possible. The person who is not aware of what is happening may encounter the same revelation and process it as just another confusing interaction in a confusing situation. May fail to recognize the significance of the specific truth that just arrived at the surface. May miss the window in which what was shown to them was shown with the specific clarity that Venus on the nodes provides, and may continue in the uncertainty that the revelation was designed to end. You have the awareness now. You understand what is coming, which means when the revelation arrives, in whatever specific form it takes in the particular terrain of your connection, you will recognize it for what it is. What has been hidden is about to surface. That is the specific, practical, energetically real truth of the next 2 days. What has been operating in the invisible dimensions of this connection, the feeling that could not quite arrive at its visible form, the intention that has not yet been made clear, the truth about the actual nature and depth and direction of what is between you, is coming to the surface. The conditions that were keeping it beneath are changing. Venus approaching the karmic nodes is the specific alignment that changes them. Stay open. Not in the managed, slightly braced, ready to be disappointed way you may have been staying open during the uncertainty, but in the genuinely receptive, present, willing to see clearly way that the revelation deserves. The revelation has been traveling toward you across the full arc of this connection, through all the conversations that left you with questions and all the moments of sensing something more beneath the surface. It has been building toward the specific 2-day window in which the conditions for its visibility are finally in place. Trust what comes to light. Whatever it is, the beautiful confirmation or the clarifying truth, it is not an accident. It is not misfortune or good fortune distributed randomly. It is the precise, loving, karmic accuracy of a universe that is organizing your relational life in the direction of what is genuinely meant for you, even when the organizing requires showing you something uncomfortable first. What is confirmed in the next 2 days is something real. What is clarified is something necessary. Both are gifts. Both are the universe working precisely on your behalf, ensuring that the next chapter of your love life begins from the honest, clear, fully visible ground that genuine connection requires. The truth is close. In 2 days it arrives. Stay open. Trust what you see, and know that whatever is revealed, it is exactly what you needed to see in order to finally, clearly move in the right direction.